How to build your first funnel inside of GoHighLevel. Let's get to it. Well, the first thing when it comes to building a funnel is you have to know what you have to build, right? Nobody builds a house without a blueprint. So visualize and think about what type of funnel do you need. For example, if it is a webinar funnel, then you will need a page where people opt in, right? So this will be our opt-in page. That's where they will give you their email, their phone number, their name to watch the webinar. And then from there, they will go to a watch room page where they actually watch the webinar. And likely on here, you're going to have a call to action that will link to the checkout page for your product or whatever it is. But that would be a very simple webinar funnel. Now, if it's something like a sales funnel, then you're going to have your sales page, and then you're going to have your checkout page, and then you're going to need your thank you page. So someone goes here to learn about the product. They say, yes, I want it. They go here to buy the product. And then they go here to confirm their purchase and also give them next steps and information on how they will receive access. So you get what I'm saying here. Before you go and actually build your funnel out, you need to make sure that you understand the different parts of your funnel that you actually need to build. And believe it or not, it's one of the most common mistakes I see is people go and say, I need this thing. They don't really know what it is or what it entails. And they go and they just start building and they get completely lost. So do yourself a favor. Think about what is it you're trying to accomplish. Is it a webinar sign up? Is it an ebook download? Is it a cheat sheet download? Is it a course sale? Is it a community subscription? Whatever it is. And then go from there, reverse engineer it. What has to happen in order to achieve that? So again, for webinar, someone has to go to an info page. They have to sign up for the webinar. Then they have to go to a page where they watch the webinar, etc. You get the idea. Now, if it is a lead generation page you're looking for, I actually have something that will be really helpful. Right here on my website, you can grab my free lead gen pack that you can install right into your HighLevel. There's no upsells. I'm not selling you anything here. It truly is free. You can click the link in the description, go to the resources. You'll see the free lead gen pack. This has beginner, advanced, and intermediate versions for webinars, free courses, free downloads, as well as some other stuff. Now, when it comes to actually building out your funnel inside of HighLevel, let's talk about what you need and how to get started. Obviously, the first thing you need is a GoHighLevel account. Assuming you have that, the next thing you're going to need is your domain. Your domain is your website. So marketwithmark.com is my website domain. So you're going to either need a core domain or what's called a subdomain. So let's say I wanted to create a funnel, but I did not want it to have Market with Mark directly lead to that funnel because that's my main website. I can do what's called a subdomain, which could be something like start.marketwithmark, and then I could link that to my funnel. So hopefully that makes sense. You can either do a root domain, marketwithmark.com, yourwebsite.com, or a subdomain, start, go, whatever word you want, .yourdomain.com, start.marketwithmark.com. Either of those will work, but you need a domain of some sort so you can actually have traffic and have a link to send traffic to. Now, you can purchase domains directly inside of HighLevel in the settings tab here. So if I come into the settings tab and I go to domains and URL redirects, I can actually purchase a domain right here. Or of course, you can use a tool like GoDaddy. Either way, get yourself a domain wherever your pages are going to be housed. If you purchase the domain directly here in HighLevel, then you can avoid some steps of having to actually connect it here in HighLevel. But if you did purchase via GoDaddy or somewhere else, it's really not very difficult. You're just going to do that same thing in your settings. Going to settings, URL, domains and URL redirects, and you will say connect a domain instead of purchase a domain, funnel, or website. You will put the domain in here. I will link or have the video pop up to my full domain guide, so we don't have to get too in the weeds with that right now, but that'll pop up. If you're confused on domains, need to connect a domain, that guide will show you how to connect every type of domain you could ever need here inside HighLevel. Once we've got our domain connected to our HighLevel account, we need to come into our Sites tab. Now, this is where our website builder and our funnel builder live. Of course, this is a guide on building a funnel, but you can also build full websites on here. It's really just the same thing. Honestly, I would just use the funnel builder for everything. I think the organization and just the way it works is a little bit easier to manage. But you'll come in here and you could create a folder if you would like, or you could select new funnel, or if you grabbed the free lead gen templates, you will see those here as well, and you can start working off of those. Either way, let's say we're building out our first funnel. We're going to go ahead and click new funnel, and we're going to go ahead and name our funnel. Now you'll see HighLevel does have a bunch of preloaded templates as well, which some of these are pretty good. They do have a funnel AI tool you can use. It's not very good right now, and I highly recommend you learn how to actually build your own funnels to some degree and edit funnels. That's what we're going to go with here. So we're going to do test funnel as our name. Naming conventions completely up to you. Organization is really the key here. As your business starts to grow, as you start to have a lot of different funnels, you're going to want to be utilizing the folders feature and clear naming conventions. So if you need to find a specific funnel, you can easily do so by searching for it. First thing I always do here is I come into my settings tab, and domain, this is where we're going to choose the domain that we've connected. So we're going to click marketwithmark.com. Now this does not mean that marketwithmark.com directly will go here. It simply means that this is using the root domain of marketwithmark.com. If I click save and I come back here to steps and I create a step, so let's say we were doing a webinar funnel, then I would do my opt-in page. We will now see that it creates a unique webinar URL right here, marketwithmark.com/opt-in. Again, I would go to publishing and I would update the naming convention a little bit to be webinar name. So if this was like how to become a real estate agent, how to become a real estate agent dash opt-in, just to make it unique to this specific product, because you might have 5, 10, 15, 20 webinars. And they can't all have the same URL because URLs have to be unique. So just do it this way and you'll never have a problem with duplicate URLs or a URL with a bunch of random crazy numbers at the end, because it has to force itself not to be a duplicate. So back to our settings. We always connect the domain first. This is where you would paste in your Facebook tracking code, your Google tracking codes, any tracking codes or pixels here. You can paste them in the heading tracking. Your favicon URL. A favicon is the image, like you can see right here, like my little Market with Mark logo. That's the favicon it shows on the tab. I will put a link in the description for my favicon template. It's a very small, it's like a 40 pixel by 40 pixel. You just throw your logo in the middle, download it with a transparent background ideally, but it's not necessary. And you're going to upload that image to your media storage folder. And then you're going to find it in your media storage folder. You can see it's super grainy because it's such a small image. Click the 3 dots, click Get Link, and then go back to your funnel. I do personally find it easiest to work with having HighLevel open in 2 tabs. That way I don't have to bounce back and forth. So we'll head back to settings. We'll put in our favicon URL, and we'll go ahead and we'll save our updates by clicking the blue Save button. Now that we've taken care of our settings, got our domain connected, got our favicon in there, got any tracking codes in there, we'll go ahead. And this is typically where I would have created this opt-in page, but I just wanted to show you the clarification on the URL. So you'll create your pages. First thing before I build any pages, I just create the skeleton. So we need our opt-in page. And since this is going to be a webinar, we need our watch room page. So we'll go ahead and create our funnel steps. And same thing, just like we did with our opt-in, let's take care of our URL first. So just like this is webinar name, so again, not verbatim, but the name of your webinar, dash opt dash in, we're going to go to publishing, and this is going to be webinar name dash watch dash room. Now, one consideration here is depending on your funnel type, you're going to have to factor in if you need any forms or checkout pages, etc. I've got a whole guide on creating products and checkout pages and linking those up, and I'll have that pop up around here and link it down below. In this case, we would need a form because we need a way for people to sign up for our webinar. So you would come into your form builder, and very self-explanatory, you would click add form. It's just drag and drop. You're going to ask for first name, last name, whatever it is that you need, email, phone, whatever. Create your form. I've got a video on that as well that I can pop up somewhere. And once your form's built, you'll head back to your funnels, and this is where you actually can go ahead and build your funnel. So you'll click on Edit, And this is a very simple funnel building process, and it's gotten even easier now that they have AI. So you can have the AI actually help you generate certain sections. But again, we want to learn how to actually build ourselves. First thing I do, just again, so it doesn't get forgotten, is I come up here to where it says SEO metadata, content. I type in the content. This again is going to be what shows up next to our favicons. It's going to be what the tab on the browser says. So we'll just do test content. Next thing, come down to social image. This is where you can put a custom image. So if someone shares this, this is the image that'll pop up with it. So go ahead and make sure you click Update SEO. Go ahead and click the save icon here. And we're good to go. Now we're going to add our first element or section. So the way this funnel builder works is you first have sections. I always go with full width. And this is basically your canvas that you can, or really, let's say this is your easel, right? This is the backbone of the foundation of everything. On top of a section, then you would add what I would say is the canvas. It's going to be one of your rows. You can see there's 1 column through 6 column rows, really depending on how many elements you're going to need. So if I wanted to do a 1 column row, this is my canvas that I can put any of my elements on. The elements are, of course, like the paint. So if we come to elements, I could click on a headline and I could write my headline here. Right, so I can write it in caps, I can write it in lowercase, I can highlight it and change the colors, change the fonts, link it, do whatever I need to do here. Over here in my right-hand control, this is always going to be my control panel for whatever type of element I'm editing. So in this case with the headline, I can edit the font size, I can edit the font weight, of course the colors, I can add an icon, I can go to styles and add borders, I can change the margins if I need to move things up and down, and even add in different animations here, though personally I'm not a big fan of those. So very self-explanatory. So here's where you could put your headline for your webinar. We could add in a sub-headline for some context. Of course, we can change background colors, do whatever we want. And then I could go and I could add in my form. And I could choose, let me just choose one of my forms here, get our form added in. And then I can say, what do I want to happen after someone submits a form? And I could, in this case, on the webinar funnel, go to next step. If they submit the form, they go ahead and watch the webinar. But you get the idea. This can be very complex or very simple when it comes to building funnels. This 2-column row allows me to put, let's say on this side, an image. And then on this side, I could put a headline with some subtext. We'll drag that over here. You can just click and drag, by the way. Super easy. So if I need to move something around. And then I could go ahead and grab a button. Right, so you get the idea. It's just click and drag. Do make sure that everything looks good on mobile. You can click on the mobile mode right here, and customizations you make inside of mobile will only reflect on mobile and vice versa. You can also hide specific elements. So if I wanted this headline to only show on desktop, I could go to styles and unselect it on mobile or vice versa. Now, once your funnel's good to go, you're just going to set up any back-end automations. And again, I've got videos on that here on the channel. And that is really the quick and dirty starter guide to creating funnels. So step 1, figure out what is the goal of your funnel and then map out what pages you need. Do you need an opt-in page and a watchroom page? Are you selling something? You need a sales page and a checkout page? Do you have multiple price plans, in which case you need multiple checkout pages and then 1 confirmation page? Do you have order bumps and upsells, in which case you'll need order bump and upsell pages? You get the idea. Map out what you need. Make sure your domain's connected. Go into your sites tab. Build out the funnel. Make sure you connect your favicon, your domain, your tracking pixels. Go ahead and build out the URLs for your page and then go in and actually build out those pages. Make sure you don't forget about things like forms if you need an opt-in form, or linking products and checkout forms if it's a sales page. Calendars if it's a call booking page. Don't forget about that stuff. But very easy to do at the end of the day. Hopefully this guide was helpful. If it was, go ahead and give it a like. I've got tons of free resources as well as those funnel templates, which will make things much easier, down in the description below, absolutely free. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.